Hello everyone, Techbeat Conference 2023 was a grand success. The venue was great, the people were in all, the speakers really gave out some great information. All in all, it was a grand success. And congratulations to the organizer, Sunny Menon, who made it happen, and his great team, of course. Welcome to YoIndiaTV with me, Jasleen, and it's really a pleasure to be talking to you about how the conference really went and what led it to such a grand success.
Thank you, first of all, Jasleen ji, and yeah, it was very good. A lot of speakers, they gave very different perspectives on different subjects like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, robotics. The demo done by that young individual from Berkeley University was very impressive. Mm-hmm. And so was the artificial intelligence and generative intelligence, both different subjects given by the speakers were also very impressive. So these were all handpicked and chosen, reviewed by Berkeley University professors. Mm-hmm. So that's where we are. And finally, we received a lot of submissions, so those submissions will be valued for the next year. Mm-hmm. So don't get disheartened because we didn't select that. It is because of some priorities given to the region from the East Bay. Mm-hmm. But all the subjects, whatever be it, it has been valued high and it will be taken into consideration for our next year conference.
Of books published under your name, as I can see here, and I was just curious if you could just walk us through quickly what makes these books special, what they have to do with AI and your involvement with them.
Well, most of the books have AI illustrations, and so that's where I started off working with AI as an illustrator. And so, for example, do you want me to pick out some of the books and show you?
Sure, you can just use one as an example.
All right, so for example, this one, which I call Walking the Dog.
You want to show the camera this one?
So basically what this does is I took the concept of a dog walking with an owner in a park, and then in the program I work with, Night Cafe, has about 40 different platforms or programs for illustrating books, different illustrations. For example, it has neo-realism or super-realism, hyper-realism, or it has photo, cubism. It takes basically all these different art styles, and then you can just generate different pictures. So I'll give you an example. I'll just start showing, So those are color portraits. So then this is a more kind of striking, more vibrant look. All right, so this is, for example, hyper-real. So you see each platform, when I put in the prompt, it's the same prompt each time. A dog is walking with the owner in a park. And so each time, the illustrations are different style.
Tell us a little more about the turnaround and the kind of crowd the conference housed.
Yes, so there were, people, because this was for the whole day, the crowd kept coming and leaving. There were some people who came and attended one of the speaking session. We have advertised and published what the sessions are going to look like. So people came at different times of the day, and because the venue was also very big, the hall was very big. It is for the first time we are doing it at such a very different format, where the people sit in a round table, and screens were all around, and we are sitting in between very antique cars, and so people really loved and enjoyed that. There were people who were financiers who came in, looked at certain things. The management, senior management came in the morning, and then they looked at it, and okay, this is all going good, fine, and they left. And then there were many students who came in. We gave free tickets in the beginning to students, and then later, because of commitment that we wanted, we charged a nominal fee of just about $9, which included all the benefits of a regular ticket. So students also came in. There were, representations from universities, people, even not the students, but other areas like faculty. They were all present.
So all in all, I know it was like a very hit event. People of all ages and, people who have a different kind of understanding in technology, everyone benefited from the conference. What, in your opinion, took away the pulse of the conference? What was the most hot topic that people really enjoyed?
Yeah, most of the topics were good, but some of them which I liked is the Generative AI workshop that Ginny Graham, the author of 200 books, what she has done was quite impressive. Then there was also a gentleman named Ritesh Arora who spoke about AI, and he touched upon various subjects. Then the youngest people, they gave very brilliant presentations, all the three, which included quantum cryptography and robotics demo and XAI, which was a very unique subject. So those were given by the students, basically. So those were all impressive.
So many jobs which are at risk. For example, there are people who work in mines, right? There are people who work very hard jobs. They lift so many heavy loads, heavy boxes by their hand. Why can't you use robots? Right? Because the life is at risk there. We don't understand that part. There are so many lives, there are so many people die in the factories. Why? Because they are doing so many risky jobs by their hand. So we need to see, we need to try to understand, come with the use cases which can benefit the society, how we can avoid that risk by enabling AI in those industry segments. That's the way we have to look at it, right? At least the people who are intelligent. People who are bad, you can't do anything, right? They will continue, right?
So a lot of great industry trends were seen at the conference. We had a great line of speakers, and they had diverse views coming from, different backgrounds. I know people did talk about the brand new stuff which is going on, generative AI in particular. But what do you see as future of technology?
Exactly. So there has been discussions on whether the jobs will go away, and where is it all moving towards with the technology, with artificial intelligence in perspective, humanoids in perspective, robotics, etc., etc. So I don't think, first of all, the jobs will go away completely. It will change, just like from how the ledger-based entry manual changed to an automated entry. Some jobs will go away, but it will take shape in a different form. So there is a paradigm shift currently happening. That shift is almost there. Every 10 to 15 years is when we see a great shift. And this artificial intelligence has stepped into it with ChatGPT. It has stepped into that paradigm space. So that shift is happening. Along with that, there will also be the negative part of it, where adversaries will use artificial intelligence to attack. So already we are seeing those kind of things. So there are a lot of good things, but along with the good things, there'll be some bad things also that will come in, for which there will be prevention measures. But a paradigm shift is definitely happening. So thank you.
And we got to see the constructive use of technology, the positive side of technology, what it can bring to the table that human beings can't do or can do so efficiently, or wherever there is a shortage of resources, robots can definitely come into play. These machines can help, especially in places like Antarctica, where there are extremes of temperature, and existence of human mankind is a challenge in itself. So think about those avenues, and at the same time, as you mentioned, hackers and crackers will also make benefit of these brand new technologies and think about newer ways of disruption. So that will always stay, but there has to be a balance that should be striked. And we look forward to the positive aspects. I'm sure there will be newer ways to tap those destructive measures as well.
Exactly. So we are also seeing that the young generation, they are grasping the AI part of it very quickly than anybody else. Because
Chat GPT is suddenly so popular.
Exactly. So the young generation, especially the teens, that age group and below as well, those groups, they are showing some promise. They are grasping things much more than anybody else. There are a lot of apps that has come out. We came to know through this Techbeat conference, people who submitted, many of them are at a very much younger generation in schools and colleges who have used artificial intelligence. So they are seemingly grasping things more better and bringing productive things into the market.
Definitely, if you are trying to write a song, do use generative AI. I think that is something that a lot of creative writers, creative people, musicians out there, people in those fields can benefit from. So young people who are more into it, who are making their career, might find it more useful, because that is something that is new to them. They're new to the field, whereas the people who are used to doing things in a certain way may take time to adapt to the technology. I think that is why it's more popular among youngsters.
Yes, that's correct. And so adaptation is always a problem. Like, Everett Rogers in his book has already given clear-cut, things on the diffusions in innovation book. That's a very good book. How the new, any innovation that happens, how does it infuse into the stream of community. That takes a little bit of time, but that time has come now. It has been quite some time where AI was discussed, robotics was discussed, humanoids were discussed and demonstrated. So that time has come, and we will see some wonderful things in the market soon.
But the only thing I'll say is, don't be afraid. AI can't really write a Hamlet. So you can be a Shakespeare with AI, but you can be a better writer for sure. So keep that in mind.
YoIndiaTV. I'm joined here today by Kripa from Sukripa. Kripa, can you tell me a little bit about your organization?
Hi Ranavi, thanks. So Sukripa is an organization that we work with children in Bangalore. So the background of the kids is they are the children of migrant daily wage workers, so who are first generation learners. So we help them with the schooling and college. So that's like the basic. And so we are recently registered in the US, and I'm really excited that we can raise funds and probably start some school clubs. So the students from here can volunteer for the children in India.
That's really awesome. So what kind of impact are you looking to make here in the Bay Area?
So we have a program called Buddies Beyond Border. So through Buddies Beyond Border, we want to see, if possible, like right after summer, so students can volunteer with our students in India, where they do virtual programs, virtual interactions, pretty much. So where they can share about Indian culture, like and sports and books and different things. And then end of the year, like when the school year starts in India, which is pretty much June, July, so we can have some volunteers go and do something more like a volunteering vacation. Maybe they could even go with the parents. So we are looking at like mostly like the, high school kids and even college students. So that would be like great opportunity because this would become like more like for Indian kids living here to see like what is the other counterpart of their age group.
That's mind-blowing, And I know on the innovative front, this technology was a very unique thing in itself, which showcased so many aspects of technology, and especially the students. I know I heard from youngsters, this was really fantastic. But the technocrats who made it to the conference, especially the tech entrepreneurs, they had a unique perspective to share. Could you give some examples of what were some nice takeaways, especially in the cybersecurity area?
Yes. So in the cybersecurity, we asked two authors together to do some talk, which was good. They were authors of one of the books there. But more than that, one thing that I have not given or disclosed yet, which I like to disclose it at YoIndiaTV for Jasleen G, because at this point I have the approval to talk about it. There are fundings that that has happened, where somebody discussed about an app for which funding has been done right there on the conference. It's not a very big funding or anything, but that has happened. And those things will come up in our website very soon. And more than that, there are also interest shown on this Techbeat conference on participation, and also they want a little more bite of the pie, if you will. So those discussions are happening, and which appear to be good. In general, the attempt was to make it houseful, but that did not happen, which is because it was a weekday.
And it was a floating population. People came and left for various segments, depending on their interest and availability.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, but there is the news about the conference has been spread out. City of San Ramon, City of Danville, Pleasanton, Chamber of Commerce, they all were very supportive towards this event. So it has been branded and established, and it has arrived. The Techbeat conference for the East Bay, it is now established as the biggest one.
Very impressive.
The issue is this curve is now going to have like sine waves. It's going to have oscillations. So the next, what that looks like on a robot, right, is, okay, I'm going to approach my target, but then once I approach my target, I'm going to overshoot a little bit, and then I'm going to go back and undershoot. And I'm going to constantly go up and down until I land exactly on my target. But ideally, we can just go and land exactly on our target, right? We don't want to do this dance or going back and forth. So what do we do next? The next thing we would do is we would increase the D value, the derivative value. And essentially in this, this equation, what the KD value does is that it fights the KT value. So it reduces the oscillations, right? So now when I increase the KD value, I'm gonna start landing on my target, but I'm also gonna have like some jittering, or these two values are like fighting against each other, right? So what we do then is we increase the KI value. The KI value is what basically smooths out the entire process, and an important thing to remember is that it increases exponentially with time, right? So that means, compared to the KT value and the KD value, the KI value is very small. So that's how a PID controller essentially works.
Hi, my name is Karan Rana. I'm here with YoIndiaTV, and I'm pleased to be joined by
Arya Sashikmar
and Amy Sashikmar.
And these two gentlemen are going to talk to us a little bit about what's going on today in the world of robotics. So what can you tell us about your upcoming projects right now?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm from Dublin Robotics Robolabs. It's a company me, my dad, and my brother started close to 5-6 years ago now. And we basically teach kids robotics. So you know how there's Kumon that teaches math. We essentially teach K through 12 students about robotics and electrical, mechanical, and computer science systems. And it's the way we see robotics is really going to be, it's going to be the future, right? Like right now, we see AI taking like it's disrupting the entire industry, right? We're kind of living like an AI revolution. Over the last 20 to 30 years has been kind of like a period of like ferment where there's just been a bunch of R&D for AI. I foresee that like in 10-15 years from now we're going to have like a robotics revolution where there's a bunch of really interesting work being done in higher education and the industry in robotics, and we're essentially taking the role of educating kids from elementary to the 12th grade on the younger end of the spectrum about all these really important engineering concepts. And the hope is we're empowering the next generation of roboticists, right, who we need for the robotics revolution, right?
And what about because there's plenty of robotics programs in the Bay Area, what about your robotics program makes it so unique?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, we've been around for a really long time. In particular, we specialize in VEX robotics. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like one flavor of competitive robotics. We've recently started our first robotics, and so that includes like FLL and FTC. But VEX robotics has been our bread and butter. And one of the interesting things about our organization is that we're not really just a robotics organization. We also teach kids how to file patents with the USPTO, do research papers. We also have a college consulting program as well as like a volunteer service program where kids can get the Presidential Volunteer Service Award with the US government and all. So the way we really see ourselves is like we're a comprehensive like end-to-end company that the entire college prep ecosystem kind of falls under our umbrella, and we have like a really robust ecosystem that way, which is robotics, but then there's so much more than just that, right?
Definitely.
Very impressive. So, it has some other elements that we can also share with the audience. For example, Neil Nayyar had a fantastic musical performance, and, it was a pleasure for one and all to hear the various instruments he brought to the conference. And similarly, there were some other tidbits and even a Hindi Bollywood song, which gave an additional tadka to it. So tell us a little more about the food and the music aspects as well.
Yes, the food was overall appreciated. It was given till the end of the day, and people enjoyed because it is, there are a lot of people who stayed from morning till evening, and so they appreciated that. And along with that, like I said, the format of the conference, we want to make it very relaxed and entertaining as well, because there is always an aspect of emotional intelligence coming into the picture in a lot of things. And so this this aspect, considering that aspect, we brought in this young boy, 17-year-old Neil Nayyar, a wonderful guy, and he played pretty different loops, what they are and how it is created, and people really enjoyed sitting there, and he just blasted it out. And that's how the conference ended, giving a reminiscence to the people for looking forward for the next year.
YoIndiaTV. I'm joined here today by Neil, who plays 117 different instruments. We've seen him before on this channel, but we're just going to get his thoughts on this event. So, how has your day been so far?
The performance was great. I was looping, with instruments. So looping means like they're in different instruments, kind of like a one-man band. And the performance was great, actually. A lot of people enjoyed it. They were like surprised from my performance. Doing looping and also looping like movie themes. Like KGF or like the Game of Thrones series. So I tried playing those, and everyone was shocked. And it was like absolutely fantastic. I really loved the event. You know, we saw a lot of robots, we saw AI technology, and we saw, you know, a lot of great stuff. So, I mean, and hopefully for sure it's going to happen next year, so I can't wait to come there again.
Great avenue for knowledge sharing and joyful experience for one and all. Yes, that was Techbeat 2023. If you haven't made it yet, do watch out this wonderful video on YoIndiaTV and plan for next year. It will be even better and bigger. And this time the special venue, the Black Hawk Museum in Danville that housed this wonderful conference, really added to the flavor of the conference, and we would look forward to a similar and in fact an even better event next year. Anything you would like to pitch in right now?
Yeah, so next year we have, you know, the site is already coming up, asking for participation. We have already created group for the next Tech 24. About 100 people have already joined. We will be doing it here in the East Bay itself, but parallelly we are also thinking about doing it either in India or in Dubai. So that also will be published. Like I said, the funding aspects, who got the funds and what was the app, and those things will be published. You could also join the group when you visit the Tech 24 preparations website or portal that's coming up. And lastly, thanks to YoIndiaTV. They did a wonderful job. I appreciate it, and very beautiful content that I see. That's why we chose YoIndiaTV. And thank you, Jasleen ji, for interviewing me. Thank you.
Really appreciate.
The standardization process has encouraged a lot of collaboration and community involvement, even internationally. NIST has, I think, partnered with other standardization organizations such as the International Standardization Organization and one in Europe, I believe, the European Telecommunications Standardization Institution.
Take a few examples of medical. Like, there's so much advancement is going in medical that by looking on the images of an X-ray, MRI, you can detect the diseases without doing surgery in your body. Right? There are so many cases of breast cancers coming in like why? Because of AI. How many lives are you saving every year? Millions of lives. Because you take a picture, MRI, you understand, hey, this particular extra growth of skin is happening somewhere which may lead to a risk, right? So medical molecular imaging is going to an extent that there is a concept called a singularity, right? We are saying at one point of time, you will not be able to differentiate what is the real part of your body versus what has been installed in you. Right? So we are going to that extent. And that's possible because of AI, right?
But one day, an optometrist receives a diagnosis from the AI system that contradicts their own clinical assessment.
Hi, I'm Karan Rana, here with YoIndiaTV, and I'm happy to be joined by Udvay, who is going to talk to us a little bit about, kind of what his company does with machine learning. So why don't you go ahead and tell us, what does your company have planned right now?
Yeah, so, I work part-time for this company, Contra Labs, and basically they're developing hearing aids that are more accessible to the common people. So it's just more of an accessibility device rather than a commodity like a lot of hearing aids are now. So using a lot of technology features inside the hearing aid, including many AI-based features, this should hopefully accomplish the goal of making a hearing aid more like something like headphones or AirPods or something, rather than a commodity, which a lot of hearing aids are right now. So that's the ultimate goal, yeah.
So how exactly do you utilize AI to make these hearing aids much more effective?
Yeah, so a lot of what we're doing, I'm not really allowed to say, but on a general perspective, it's really just looking at a lot of common AI practices and machine learning practices that you can find online, and just applying that to hearing aids, because a lot of the time it just isn't.
Hi YoIndiaTV, this is Varnavi here with Stephen, who spoke today about post-quantum cryptography. Stephen, can you tell us a little bit about what that's about?
So post-quantum cryptography is basically a new field in computer science regarding how we can secure our devices when quantum computing becomes mainstream. So currently quantum computers have been created, and in the future they will become instead of using your typical computers that are powered by bits or whatever, you start using quantum computers, which are a lot more powerful and efficient. And the problem with this is that quantum computers can easily break many security systems that we currently have on our classical computers today. So the problem is we need a new field of science that can develop some kind of algorithm that can defend against quantum attacks. So that's what we're saying.
Hi, thank you. My name is Karan. I'm here with YoIndiaTV. We just want to ask a couple questions about sort of where do you think cybersecurity should be incorporated in not just companies but in everyday lives? How do you think that process should be carried out?
So actually I was showing you something there, one diagram, something called social engineering. So you get a phone call, say, hey, your car warranty is expired. You want to, we are giving you some good deal. And then what you do, then you end up giving some information and end up giving some money to them. A lot of people get called about that you met with an accident and your car, you have some criminal record. If you want to clean that up, pay me this much money right now. So these kind of, since we don't have time, but these kind of so many things that you get, so you have to be aware of. First one is called phishing. Phishing means you're getting an email and you click on it and then you end up giving your information.
In one way, like many of the non-profits, 80% goes for the running the company. We are 90% goes to the underprivileged. So we only have 10% for the minimal cost of whatever we need to do, and ads and all whatever we need to run. Everything goes. So rest assured, even if you give $10, $9 is going to the kids. It might be for relationship. The AI helps us customize the solution, tailor-made to your own needs. So we have lots of options in the back end, but not everyone sees the same option. So, and all solutions are threefold: one guided meditation, some psychological techniques, as well as some activity, because when you change your state, automatically the emotions change. And our goal is to get so much endorphins in your system that you immediately start feeling the stress or anything else you were feeling less intense than it was before.
Wow, incredible. I see some technology here with a lot of potential to grow. So where do you see this app and your whole message in say 5 to 10 years?
So in 5 years, I want to be the #1 mental provider for all corporate America. In 10 years, we want to be the #1 mental wellness provider for the whole globe. Because you can be someone who didn't even feel good enough to live, like me, to someone who thinks even the sky is not the limit.
Right. Thank you, Anita Kumari, for your time. Happiness Factors seems amazing. I hope it takes off. This is YoIndiaTV. Thanks for watching.
Really appreciate, and if you are also looking for VC Connect or Mentor Connect or some great learning experience, if you have a bent of mind into technology and you're looking forward to some innovative stuff, do stay tuned into techbeatconference.com, and we would look forward to a 2024 third. Thank you again, Sunny, for your time in speaking with YoIndiaTV. Totally appreciate.
Thank you.